And now, a video from the Atlantic, the new face of Roosevelt Senior High School.
I grew up in a mixed family, and I always felt really invisible as a young person, having to navigate different spaces. It was sophomore year. I was 15, just turned 15, fresh, and there were 40, 50 other young people from around DC that I didn't know. Everybody had to do life stories, so you have 5 minutes to sit in front of 50 people and share your life. People came up to me afterwards and was like, I had never even noticed you. It just completely opened up a whole new world for me that was like, your voice matters, you're important, you can create this for other people too. Our role as a dream director is to work with students one-on-one through coaching, and also to build teams of students who will gain different leadership skills and how to engage their communities, their friends, even their teachers, the adults in their lives, around what's important to you? What are you interested in? What are you curious about? What do you want to explore? And then creating opportunities for students to do that. I'm creating a space where, regardless of what setbacks that you have, you can be a leader and you can experience that power within yourself. So we're gonna do something called story circles. Have you guys ever heard of that? And I really, really encourage you guys to share personal experiences. So don't share something like, oh, well, my uncle went through this. But share something about you that either you went through or someone who you love went through. Oh, Emauni.
Who you are has a lot to do, how you treated when you growing up. If you grow up hearing 24/7 that you're not smart enough to do something, or that's not generally what your people do, after a while you're gonna start to internalize that, start thinking that you ain't nothing. You're gonna be when I first met Jeff, school just wasn't an option for me. And then one day I came to class late.
I usually don't get until 9 o'clock, sometimes 9:30. So I would roll up and I would see her outside on the corner just chilling. And I'd be like, why are you not in school?
And I never heard nobody ask me that question before. I just came late and gave somebody my pass and go sit down. So I looked at her off butts. I'm couldn't give her an answer. So I'm oh yeah, she, something different.
I just think Emauni is a magical person. Last year, when she came into the, just hang out, she was talking about joining the military. I think she just was just what am I supposed to do? So I was like, okay, you're a dope poet, and I can see that you actually really care about a lot of different issues. What can we do with that? Think about a project that you might want to do. So I sent her away, and she came back a few days later, and she was like, Jess, I think I got a project.
The causes I want to focus on the most is, of course, Black Lives Matter. And I want to kind of touch on what DD project is to the LGBTQ community.
And why are those two issues things that are important to you?
Because,
well, duh.
Yeah. I just wanted to create this group of powerful, dope poets, rappers, singers, beatboxers, painters, whatever they do. And just do us, and then in the midst of doing us, tell a story. Black lives matter, our lives matter, my life matters. Glass ceiling forever rising, I think I'm running out of ladder. But I'ma keep climbing, and when I get close enough, the glass shatters. Chasing the American dream and white picket fences I was never really comfortable with living in. When I get older, I just want to do something with my community. I would go in the roughest part of DC. I don't care. I don't care about none of that. I just care about helping. Because I feel if it wasn't nobody there to help me, then I probably wouldn't even be having this interview right now, honestly.
Always a dreamer. Always a dreamer.
I think Emauni has the potential to be a voice for her generation. She's a strong, Black, lesbian woman. I just want to see her step into her power. I think she's doing that bit by bit. She's still a little timid with it, but I think she's working on it.
Roosevelt Senior High School, please welcome to the stage special education teacher Christian Czaniecki, senior student Emauni Hill, planning principal Acqueelha James, and senior class president Demetrius Lester. Leading the conversation is the Atlantic's Matt Thompson.
Hello, and thank you all so much for joining me, and thank all of you. I am going to be addressing our faculty here, Principal James as Principal James, and Mr. Z as Mr. Z, as he's known by his students. But I want to begin with Emauni and Demetrius. So you are both graduating seniors at Roosevelt this year. I should frame the experience at Roosevelt for the past few years for our audience today. So Roosevelt is in the midst, this panel is called The New Face of Roosevelt High School. Roosevelt is in the midst of getting a renovated new building, $130 million renovation. But while that building is being prepped, you all have been studying, Demetrius and Emauni, in the building that once housed McFarland Middle School and will again house McFarland Middle School. The hope, when Roosevelt returns, this new building will house, ultimately, could house as many as 1,000 students. Enrollment for the fall is set to be somewhere around 600, if that's right.
Yes, sir.
We want what folks are looking at Roosevelt, hoping that the school is going to once again be a draw for students across DC, that students who are zoned for it will increasingly want to attend. And so I want to ask the two of you, Emauni and Demetrius, about your experience there. First, would you recommend Roosevelt as a school? You say you're talking to a middle schooler who's thinking about where they want to go after 8th grade, and what would you say to them about Roosevelt?
One thing I would say to an upcoming freshman in high school is, if you have the opportunity to go to a high school that's more advanced, not more advanced, but you know what I mean, so to speak, like you have to apply to go there, or you have to have a certain grade point average to go there, then I suggest you go there. Roosevelt is more of a last resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Demetrius, you are student body president this year,
sir.
Preparing to graduate in June. So as you think about what the students would need, what the school would need to make it not a last resort, what needs to change?
What needs to change as a whole is the faculty need to come together and really see the students for more than just students. I think, and especially the building, being in that building is just an environment that you don't want to learn in. You come to school and you think, like if we had school in this right here, this beautiful faculty, it'd be a great learning experience. People would come to school, oh, we're about to sit in the hole, like, this looks amazing. But when you come to school and you learning and where roaches are at, you're like, I don't think I want to go to school today. Not going to school is not a big thing when it's like that.
I heard they nicknamed the two largest rats, Big Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Big Boy and Hunchback, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And it's just a joke, and that's just not how it should be. But for this year, I wouldn't recommend Roosevelt. But for next year, for the new building and our great new principal, I recommend it.
So you're looking forward to it.
Yes,
Emauni, in the video that we just saw, you and Miss Jess described a moment that occurred a few years ago in your education at Roosevelt. A moment when she saw you outside, classes were rolling for the day, and you were outside the school, not yet in class. But you are on track now to graduate. You're going, where are you going?
Lincoln University.
Lincoln University. Congratulations, Demetrius. Where are you going?
Toledo University.
Toledo University.
Yes,
Congratulations.
sir. I applied to GW, but I missed the deadline for the track.
But something changed. There was a moment that has got you here to this stage, graduating on your way to Lincoln University. What changed? What happened?
I changed. My perspective on life changed. Like, just the dream director at Roosevelt, she helped me realized the potential that I really had. Because after senior year, I planned on going in the military. And she was like, nah, I don't think the military is the right choice for you. So I don't know, she just inspired me to be great, honestly. Yeah, the dream team is like, that's,
Yeah.
Dream team is
it
awesome.
shows you like it's people that really care about the youth, teenagers, because when you in Roosevelt, no disrespect to the faculty or whatever, but you're treated like a child. And in high school, you want to be treated like a young adult, like you're about to go into the world on your own. Like you expect your high school to prepare you for that, and I just felt like I wasn't prepared to go to college. So I was gonna go to the military, and Jess was like, you're smart, you're a dope writer, like you can make it, basically. And it was her that believed in me, made me believe in myself.
So the Dream Directors is one of the program, and Miss Jess is one of the folks who really pulled you into to where you are. Mr. Z, Mr. Czaniecki, you are leading a program also that's similar in some respects to the Dream Directors called Just Keep Living. Tell me a little bit about that program and the role that it serves for the students.
Yeah, so the Just Keep Living program came to Roosevelt like 2 years ago. I got an email over the summertime saying, hey, we have this opportunity. I think it'd be something that's right up your alley. I got a YouTube video with Matthew McConaughey talking about this charity, and I thought they were just kidding. But they weren't. So we started this program, and they come to Title I schools and give us just an enormous amount of resources to set up programming centered around nutrition and fitness and community service. And it's something that we've never been able to have for our students at Roosevelt. And you know, one of the things that we and the folks that work with program with me have tried to do is make that as student-centered as possible. You know, like Emauni said, you know, we're not teaching younger children. We are teaching young adults, and at this point, they need to start to be able to spread their wings to take control of the things that they want to do and take ownership over them. So, you know, we've been able to give them these resources and say, what do you want to do with this? These people have thought that you were deserving of this, and how are we going to use this? How do you want to use this for the best possible use? And it's been really exciting over the last couple of years, the things that our students have wanted to do. I try not to direct it too much. I try and let them run the show, and then I just get to have fun with them, which is a lot better anyway.
You've been teaching at Roosevelt for 5 years, is that right?
Yes.
So
I was there a year and a half of the old building, and then as long as we've been in the new one.
Yeah. And you now teach special education, English, literature. When you think about how the school has changed so far, what have you seen? And when you think about what Emauni and Demetrius have told us about Roosevelt and not recommending it potentially now yet to an up-and-coming middle schooler, what does Roosevelt most need next?
I think we need to keep changing in the direction that we've gone. When I started at Roosevelt, it was a very different place from where it is now. You know, 80% of my day was in trying to maintain some kind of order in my classroom and then the hallways, and that's gotten better every year we've been there. You know, the conversation we were having backstage, I think at Roosevelt, you know, a student or a teacher, anyone is going to find what they're looking for. And if you're looking for the positive things there are those opportunities. You know, Emauni was able to find that with Miss Jess. Demetrius was able to find that with the student government. I fall backwards into good opportunities there. I love the place. But, you know, I think we as faculty and adults need to change with the population that's coming into the school and with the resources that are coming into it. If we keep doing the same old thing, we'll get the same old results.
In what ways do you need to change, would you say?
You know, we've developed a culture, and we're developing a culture at the school that allows education to take place now, where we're not spending 80% of our time managing behaviors. And I think now it's time to move to that next level where we're pushing our academics to a level that's going to make Roosevelt a premier school, not just in DC, but anywhere in the country. And I think, we're working to develop the staff and develop the skills as staff members to do that.
So, Principal James, let me turn to you. Making Roosevelt, Mr. Z has just laid out one marker of success that sounds great and sounds ambitious, making Roosevelt a premier school, not just in DC, but across the country. Now, I was looking through the parental DC blogosphere, and I know that you are new and will be new to Roosevelt. You've been acting principal and will be taking principal at the school when it begins in its brand new headquarters in the fall. You came from Burroughs Elementary School, where my understanding is the parents would have loved to keep you. This is a school, things are going well. Folks would have loved to have you stay there for longer, but you took on this brand new challenge. What drew you to Roosevelt, first of all?
I think the same thing that drew me to education, which is the desire to make a lasting impact in the lives of others. And specifically with Roosevelt, it's a huge opportunity. It's actually a principal's dream. Brand new building, opportunity to reestablish instructional focus, make a school and create a school environment and where all voices are heard and where all needs are met, regardless of our individual learner profiles. I think that's what really drew me to the school and caused me to say yes to my wonderful Chancellor Kaya Henderson, when asked. I'm certain that is exactly what drew me, in addition to just believing that my steps are ordered and that I'm called to specific places. And so this is where I believe I'm supposed to be at this time.
Yeah. What do you think of as models that encourage you? What are you looking to as examples that say, yes, we can make this happen?
Absolutely. I think the young people, as well as Mr. Czaniecki, started to have that conversation, and I'd just like to build on it. One, create an environment where collaboration, authentic collaboration takes place. And so what that really means is being able to hear the voices of the people that we serve and the people that I serve. So the people that I serve include everyone in the building. And so making sure I have a thorough understanding of where have we been and where do we want to go, not just with my ideas, but with the community's ideas. So we're talking about in-house community ideas as well as out-house, meaning our neighborhood community ideas, and what will allow Roosevelt High School to become the premier high school.
Yeah. How will you, looking out a few years from now, so you've got plenty of work over the next year. You're also, in addition to starting in the new building, the renovated building, you're also overseeing the restart of McFarland Middle School.
Yes, sir.
You've got a lot of challenges ahead of you. Looking a few years out, how would you measure your own success? How will you say?
I love your question. So I have decided to backwards map and do the same thing I ask of teachers, which is think about where do we want our students at the end of this unit, at the end of this lesson. And so I asked Acqueelha, where do you want to be in 5 years? And so I decided to think about a plan specifically for Roosevelt High School as well as McFarland. So I've created this phase of plans. Phase 1 being establish the new culture, establish the new instructional focus, which includes the first 2 years. During those 2 years, McFarland will be a part of our learning environment. After that, McFarland will operate as a standalone in its 3rd year, which will allow us to enter into phase 2. Phase 2 is an opportunity in which our scholars are able to go to other countries and then participate in international exchange. We already will, during phase 1, participate in virtual exchange with other countries, as well as classes that are nationally recognized. What that does in phase 2 is really allow students the pearl of what I consider learning, which is exposure. And so creating an environment where students look forward to coming to school, not just because of the academics, because we have great technology and because we have a beautiful building, and because there exists Rough Rider pride because every one of us have the same level of verve that walk through that building. Every one of us have the same level of passion and mutual respect for one one another, regardless of our titles and or our age. So when I think about phase 2, I really do think about buzz in the atmosphere in such a way where our students and our community and community members and other stakeholders are really doing the work for us and sharing all of our good, great news. And then in phase 3, really looking at our instructional focus again and seeing what additional things can we add and what additional things, since we've traveled and moved along the line, what things do we no longer need to do? So still always thinking forward and wondering and being intentional, including all stakeholders, especially my scholars.
So Emauni and Demetrius, are you feeling Rough Rider pride right now? Are you starting to,
Yeah.
getting invigorated? What advice would you have to give based on your experience at Roosevelt while it was housed at McFarland, a little bit before at Roosevelt in the past? What advice do you have for Principal James?
I mean, just how I do as the president of Roosevelt, you have to treat each student the same. Because a lot of teachers don't. They might treat the black kids different than they treat the Latino kids, and you can't do that. I mean, people, I guess, in my school, they love me because I treat everybody the same. Like, I'm cool with the cool kids, the ones that get in trouble. I walk past the halls, dap everybody up, show everybody love the same way as teachers, just to show everybody. Like, it's a way different environment that kids feel, and it's that way so they can't learn. It's like a disability for them to learn because they don't want to go to class because they made fun of by teachers. So I would just say make them feel loved, all of them. And once they see that you love all of them and you're not picking on certain ones, they're going to love you and they're going to do the work that you want for them. So in 5 years, you could be looked back on as a great principal for Roosevelt.
Well, thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
One thing I would tell you is to, like, the vision you have for Rose now is the vision I wish somebody else had. I'm not saying that,
I understand.
but yeah, like, I wish, like, Roosevelt had that type of environment when I was there, then I maybe wouldn't have been. I just want to tell you to, like, stick to your plan. Don't get discouraged, because it's going to take some time to try to change the environment at Rose. Don't get discouraged. Like, keep trying to do what you're doing. Like, you're going to change somebody's life.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
Mr. Z, I want to turn back to you for a second. You've been Roosevelt for 5 years. When you look forward, the school is going to change not just in location, back to where it was previously in a brand spanking new, shiny new building, but also somewhat in focus and curriculum. The program will emphasize more global studies than it has previously, and McFarland will feed into that plan. What do you, when you look at that shift, what do you both expect from how the school will change, and what are your concerns, if any?
I don't know. I try to practice acceptance in all things, so I don't get concerned very often. I think the world's going to be what it's going to be, whether I make a decision about it one way or not. And with that philosophy, I'm just excited about it. I want to see this change because I've seen in our students this incredible potential that they're just screaming to get it out. And when you have the opportunity to see it in students like Demetrius or Emauni, it's beyond touching. It kind of just transcends everything that you think of when you think of student success. And we have the potential to do that. What I want to see in 5 years is just the visual representation of Miss James's vision, that in the neighborhood around DC, all throughout Petworth and all throughout the Roosevelt area, people are just wearing Roosevelt gear because they want to represent the school. And when people are asking about it, like, no, you need to come to this school. Like, it's amazing. And that's something that I'm proud to be a part of. I've gotten the opportunity to help this school transition from where it was when I started to what it's becoming and what it is now. And I'm just happy to be part of the move to the next step of that, where, we turn a good start into kind of a great experience.
I think we have time for maybe one question. We've got someone right here. I think the first hand that I saw up was right here in front. Whoever wants it most.
At the last minute, lucky day. Thanks for your presentation. You did a wonderful job and had a good dreams. I just wonder, in this 21st century, and not just you, I mean, your school students have involved any civic organizations. What do you think about the Black Lives Matters? And what do you think about your civic organization involved with any movement? And what do you think you have registered to vote? Or what do you think about our election of 2016 about?
So, Principal James, Mr. Z, I'll point it to you.
Well, just one of the parts of the program that I work with is social or kind of community service. This year we did a voter registration drive at the school, and we registered, I think, 65 seniors. And in DC, fortunately, you can register students 16 and up. So we registered over 100 students this year, doing that at lunchtime, not promoting any type of political agenda. I don't think that's my position as an educator. I think it's my position to give students the opportunity to do something and educate them about their ability to do it and not make that decision for them. They need to take in all of the information they can and make a decision about whom they're going to vote for or not vote for. I think our role as educators and our role as a school is to give them the opportunity to be part of that process.
Sounds, I mean, looking at Demetrius and Emauni and listening to you today, it sounds like that will not be a challenge for you to step up to what Mr. Z's laid out. I think we're out of time, but thank you very much for sharing this afternoon, and best of luck to all of you. Best of luck, Principal James. Best of luck, Mr. Z, and Emauni and Demetrius. Congratulations, and best of luck to you. Thank you very much.
We need to step on you.